the Severe MMA Podcast Premium with Sean Sheehan and Graham McDonald. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the Severe MMA Podcast, and I'm joined today by Cian Cowley, who fights coming up here on the 27th of December over in Brave against Sam Patterson. Cian, how are you? Thanks very much for coming on.
All good, Sean. Thank you for having me.
Not a bother at all.
It's good, yeah.
I suppose I interviewed Brendan Loughnane last week, and he's fighting around the same time as you, and I was asking him about Christmas and stuff, and he was maybe talking about the hassle of it, and then, you know, preparing around the the box of quality streets and the turkey and stuff. How has it been for you?
Stop. Well, like, when I was supposed to fight in November, so it was when I got the call for that in August. I started training hard for it, and then it never came, and then I just needed to fight before the 8 years out, and then it was Hobson's choice, really. The only date they gave me was the 27th, and when I first heard it, I was like, because they're just thinking of Christmas and all, and I love Christmas, you know what I mean? Like, the buzz of Christmas and all that, and then I have kids as well now, so it's different, but, like, once I signed that and it was done, it just hasn't even been in my mind, like, it's just mad, like, I don't even, like, it just doesn't feel like, I don't know, I don't have the Christmas feeling this year or something, it's weird, but...
Yeah, I suppose you kind of have to do that when you were in that position of cutting weight and everything, because if you get stuck into it, you're going to end up missing weight or something, yeah.
Yeah, big time. Like, I fucking mill a Christmas dinner I would, and a load of boxes of celebrations.
It'd be nice. Out of 28, you'll be able to do it, I suppose.
100%.
What kind of... I talked to a lot of different people, and they prepare differently in terms of looking at their opponents. I'm always interested to see what people do. What do you do? Do you go out the second you hear your opponent and look up all of his stuff, or are you kind of guy who just prepares your own way?
Yeah, well, I don't sleep on the opponent at all. Like, as soon as I find out who it is I'm matched against, I do the background check. I suss them out completely, like, do you know what I mean? But, like, that's it. Once I suss them out and I see what I need to see, that'll be it then. I'll just be fixed in my mind what I need to do and what type of training and what type of sparring partners I need to get and stuff like that. And I think I'm good at evaluating stuff like that as well, like, so I don't, like, I let it wreck me head and be thinking about it that much. I just do what I have to do, see what I need to see, and then that's it, then get to work, do you know what I mean?
What did you see in Sam Patterson looking up him before the fight?
Look, I was due to fight him in July, actually, in London, on that London card, and then he pulled out, so I fought Match Check instead. So, like, I was kind of preparing for, he's like 6'4" or something, big, tall, lightweight, you know what I mean? So I've been preparing for that type of body now for a while, like, do you know what I mean? So, like, what I seen him, like, I don't know, overlooking it at all, but, like, he's definitely nowhere near my level, like, everywhere, like, MMA standard, like, do you know what I mean? I'm from streets ahead of him. I just know I am, like, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's he's dangerous, he's long, like, I've never fought someone taller than me, do you know what I mean? So he's a more reach than me and all, and he's a nice few submissions up his sleeve as well, so I'll have to be very wary of him everywhere, do you know what I mean? Yeah. And obviously, me last fight, the way it went, I learned, like, that was one of the biggest learning curves in my whole career, the way that went, so it's after completely refocusing me, and it's gonna, like, I'm after having to adapt now and start, like, focusing on not a new style, but, you know what I mean? Like, I have to be wary of that, like, you can be caught. I used to think I was bulletproof because I'd never been dropped in it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was funny, a couple of years ago, I remember you put up a post and you talked about, you know, obviously you came in from kickboxing, and, you know, you have to add the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and all of that, and I saw you doing a jiu-jitsu match below in Cork, and it seemed like you were, like, really getting into the jiu-jitsu and developing an MMA style. Is there a bit maybe of, like, you got maybe too into the jiu-jitsu and the wrestling and you kind of forget about the strike and you kind of have to blend it all together?
Oh, I tell you, like, that's bang on with that. Like, I was only, like, it's been on my mind lately as well. Like, I think a lot of fighters get lost in that as well. You need to focus on what you're good at. At the end of the day, well, you're gonna go to what you do in a fight. You're gonna go to what your strength is, no matter what. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, like, I did like, I know obviously I had to learn the jiu-jitsu on my pro debut, the way it went and all. Do you know what I mean? That made me immerse myself in the grappling and all. But, like, once I kind of got to a certain stage with it, then I did see myself, like, I used to be in Thai boxing every single night in my own gym. Like, I'm just, even if I'm teaching, I always would hit pads and I'd always spar every night. And I was been doing that for years. And then I went so deep into the grappling that I stopped doing it. And then it's only when I look back, I was like, jeez, I fucking, the power of practice I used to put in with Thai boxing, was just, and then you could see it in my fights. But then I stopped doing it for so months on end, where I'd only do the odd Thai boxing session. So, but that was kind of foolish in a way. I should have kept it up with so then now I have the balance and I know what I need to do. But yeah, you're right. People do kind of focus on. I was focusing on my weakness too much on them. I'm not going to be doing that when I'm fighting. Regardless, I'm not going to be shooting to take no one down. Mm-hmm. I have me jiu-jitsu, you know what I mean? But my fighting style is just going to be on the feet, take the head off them. That's it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. How I always wonder how interesting it is. It's always interesting to me how people actually develop their style. Because you look at some people, obviously you come in with a very good kickboxing Thai background, and obviously you're going to fight out of that way. But I don't know, is there an advantage having that, or coming straight in, starting MMA out as just being an MMA fighter and you learn it all together? Do you ever think of it that way? It's you can't fight the same way in kickboxing or Thai that you fight in MMA, obviously, because of the different integers to the sport.
Of course. Yeah. It's harder, to be honest. I know it's I have a big Thai boxing pedigree and this and that and all, and at the start, I would have thought, you would think, oh, I'm just going to clean up shop. Even I remember when I used to watch MMA fighters, I'd be I used to just, in my head, I'd smoke them all just by looking at the MMA the way I was with my Thai boxing brain. But I had to come, my stand up in MMA is not my Thai boxing style at all. It's a complete opposite. I'm not having to develop a new style of striking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, it helps that I've been doing it for years, the Thai boxing and the K1 and all, but it's a completely different style and different. Everything is different. It's mad. It's literally a different. The strike in MMA is it's its own sport in a way. Do you know what I mean? Everything is different. All the shots, the guard, the head movement, everything is just different. So I haven't just had this step ahead of everyone because I was so good at Thai boxing. Fucking hell, it's different altogether, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. And I was talking to Peter Queally there last week. Obviously he's going to be in the main event or co-main event or whatever it is over in Bellator, and he's taken his losses along the way as well. And he kind of said to me that I'm maybe better for them losses, them hard fights and going out to these different places fighting. Do you feel okay, you've lost a few fights in the start of your career, but do you feel that's kind of a good road to be, learning experiences there in the start of your career? If you want to get to the very top, maybe that won't be any harm.
Yeah, Artem has talked to me about this before, because I was kind of letting it eat at me sometimes about me, the record and all that. Do you know what I mean? The losing fights earlier in your career and all doesn't look that good, but it's if you look at my record as well, I've always fought, my opponents have always had more fights than me, you know what I mean, and more wins than me, so I've always had I've never said no to a fight, you know what I mean, but at the same time, losing is always difficult at first, very difficult. But then it becomes a powerful tool for you to improve. And each time I've lost, it's I don't know. Not that I wouldn't have went back and improved again if I had won. But it's there's so much to it. I just keep adding pieces to the puzzle, and it's just it's fascinating in a way as well. But yeah, I definitely think that. The losing this early in my career has given me, and to keep going through it as well. It's definitely gonna pay its toll to me in a few years' time, because I'm in this for the long run, Sean. Do you know what I mean? I'm not just MMA is my life now. That's it. I'm not I'm fully committed to MMA now. I know I have my own gym and all that run it, but I have people help me with that. I'm a full-time MMA athlete now. That's that is me, and that's gonna be me for the next few years. So whatever the way the fights go, I'm just gonna keep getting the experience and keep getting better, and then I know it's gonna come to a stage where this will be a hard fight for anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I suppose one of the big things in this camp as well has been having Conor McGregor back around, and he's preparing for his fight as well. How big is it for you just to have him in camp with you, preparing for your fight?
The timing is perfect. Do you know what I mean? It's well, I've been training with Conor anyway, regardless of the. We've been training year round anyway, do you know what I mean? But now that obviously he had the fight signed, I had the fight signed around the same time, so the mindset's changed, and it was I've been doing lots of work with Conor leading up to this one, and then that's playing its toll to me as well. Like, I'm sparring the best in the world. You know what I mean? I'm getting that first hand work. So it's helped. Like, it's been great for this camp for me as well. Do you know what I mean? Like, so it's great for the both of us. You know what I mean? Two of us are in prime shape, like sparring and training. You know what I mean? It's great.
It was fun. I was talking to someone there a couple of weeks ago, and they said who'd be the best person for Conor to bring in to maybe mimic Donald Cerrone. I was like, Cian Cowley's there. You know, he's a similar sort of maybe stand-up fighter, similar sort of size, similar sort of body shape and everything.
Yeah.
Is that kind of the role you've been playing? You've been doing a bit of Donald Cerrone for the last few weeks.
Well, yeah, I'm a lot better on the feet than Cowboy. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. I'm definitely better than Cowboy on the feet, but I'm like when I'm helping Conor, I'm helping Conor. It's all about him. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like he's the one. These are big fights for the gym, for Ireland. Do you know what I mean? For Irish MMA. So like, I see it as that when I'm training with Conor. Do you know what I mean? And I checking out, like when I was with Nate. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll be studying him and checking, and I'll try to mimic him as much as I can, even though it's very hard because I don't really like taking smacks on him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's not my style, but like I do my best to mimic Cowboy to the best I can, like, and I give him the good work. Do you know what I mean?
I suppose the question that I want to know, and I suppose everyone wants to know, and maybe only a couple of people actually know, is how is he looking? Because we've only seen him fight once in the last 3 years, and that fight, it was obviously the Habib fight. He was taken down almost immediately. We didn't really see much of him. By the time it got to the third round, it was a very different fight. How is he looking in the gym? Is he back to the that fast paced, brilliant fighter we saw against Eddie Alvarez?
Well, like I know I hear this, like he's back and all. Like, it's like I don't see it for that way. It's like, even though obviously he hasn't fought in a while now, but like I've been training constantly with him. He's been training, like, we've been, even through all the whatever's going on. It's like, do you know what I mean? There hasn't been this like even in the Khabib fight, like, obviously the style of opponent and all, but like, look at some of the like sequences in that fight, some of the shots and all, like, do you know what I mean? He wasn't even, the training camp wasn't even as well put together as this one is, like. So you definitely will be expecting I don't even know what to say, like, say new and improved, because he's an animal. He always has been. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, now this is a great fight for him to show it even more. Do you know what I mean? And stamp his mark, and on to the next one then.
Right, I want to get two predictions out of you, so here to finish it up. First of all, what's the prediction for the McGregor Cerrone fight? How do you think that fight will go?
I think he puts Cerrone out very early in the first round, to be honest. I'd say I would go with within the first minute. I'd say he'll dust him off handy enough.
Lots of people reckon that Cerrone is going to stand with him, and even Cerrone said it himself during the week that he's going to stand and bang on him. Like, I think he'll go for takedowns straight away. What
he'd
way
be
do you think?
shooting, yes, he'll be pulling guard and all sorts, because he's gonna. I'm telling you, he's gonna take one smack down the middle and he's gonzo. Like, it's, I don't know. There's levels to it. I know, like, Cowboy's known as a great kickboxer and all this. Like, there's levels to it. I'm fucking doing the Thai boxing years. You know what I mean? I'm not writing the Cerrone off. He's a legend. He's a great fighter. Like, do you know what I mean? But I just know by training with Conor firsthand that this is it's like I said about Aldo when I was asked about the Aldo fight. The same thing. I was like, Thai boxer, like, Aldo was a Thai boxer. He was fucking, like, growing up, Josie Aldo was putting Thai boxing on the map in MMA. And I just knew it was a car crash of a fight for Aldo. I even predicted that the first shot that Conor lands is going to put him out, and bang, there it happens. You know what I mean? So it's a similar case with this one, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And in their prediction, I suppose, not just for your fight coming up on the 27th of December, but maybe over the next year or two. Just a lot of the guys in SPG, almost all of them are in Bellator at the moment. Obviously, you're in Brave, kind of doing it your own way. Is it your ambition to maybe get over to Bellator, or do you want to stay in Brave after this fight and keep going that way?
I'm happy where I am at the moment, Sean. I'm like, someone needs to do the work on this side of the world. Do you know what I mean? I'm happy traveling all over Asia and the Middle East and that, and doing it and clocking up the experience through this way. Like, do you know what I mean? My goal is the UFC. That's my goal, and it's always going to be that. So I'll just keep doing what I'm doing with Brave. They're looking after me. They get me fights. They've had 4 fights in 12 months, which is good. I plan to keep that going now. 4 or 5 fights every 12 months is perfect for me. Do you know what I mean? That's what I want, to stay busy. So I'm happy where I am. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing and get the job done on Friday, and then hopefully go again with Brave early in the new year.
I lied there. I said it was my last question. One more time. What do you think of that? This whole debate with the UFC and Bellator. And obviously, a lot of the lads in Ireland now have maybe put the UFC dream aside for a little bit by going to Bellator, because it's going to be very hard to get from Bellator to the UFC. What is your take on that? Like, there was kind of a big hoo-ha about it there a couple of weeks ago with Ian Gary and stuff talking about his dream. You don't dream of playing for Barnsley. You want to play for Liverpool or Man United. What's your take on that whole thing?
Oh, I don't really know. Like, I don't look at it all in that way. Like, you know what I mean? I don't even really watch the UFC or anything, to be honest. Or like, as in, like, I don't follow it all like in that way. Like, I'm not immersed in it all. I just kind of, everyone is doing their own thing. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, at the end of the day, you're not going to sit around. Like, there's a lot of the fighters as well. Like, you need to be doing at this level. You need to be full time. You need to be fucking making money. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you won't get to that stage. So, like, it's whatever suits them at the time and wherever they are in their career. Like, and I'm sure everyone's dreams are different than everyone's. Everyone has a different path. Like, I'm just happy to see everyone in every promotion doing their own thing. Like, you know what I mean? Once you're fighting active, it doesn't matter where you are. You know what I mean? You're doing it. You're doing your thing. You know what I mean? Chasing the dream. That's it.
Right, Cian, thanks very much. I really appreciate it. If anyone wants to watch the fight, the December the 27th over in Brave, I'm sure it'll be all over the place. There'll be links tweeted out and everything. Tell me if you have anything else you wanna give a shout out or tell people where to follow you and all that.
No, just tune in on Friday on Brave CFTV. It's free view, so hopefully everyone there will tune in, and I'll do us all proud and get the job done.
Great. Thank you very much for your time, Cian. Thanks everyone for listening. Sean. We'll see you all next time.